You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
That guy that looks really young is now the winningest coach in Big Ten history. Welcome to a post edition of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, along with the Hawkeye Report podcast. So we're going to get right to it and welcome in our good friend Tom Kakert, still in the press box at Kinnick Stadium. And Tommy, before we get rolling, obviously historic night, Hawks cruise. We'll talk all about that. Offense, special teams, all those kind of things. I want to, for the people that are watching on YouTube, I want to set the scene. And this was after the game, after Kirk Ferentz won number 209. And as you can see, and Tommy, you can talk a little bit about it as well. I mean, just a special moment with his players. And you can see, Tom, how much those guys love Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool moment. And to think none of those guys that played in this game were even born when Kirk Ferentz started coaching at the University as the head coach at the University of Iowa. That's pretty incredible, isn't it? You think about that the longevity of that man, 27 years leading the Iowa football program. And it was pretty cool. I was down in the tunnel, and Lisa Bluter was down there. And if you check my Twitter/X feed, you'll see the video of Kirk coming up with the swarm and then stopping, and he and Lisa, who have just this really unique, special relationship, sharing a moment together, hug and embrace, congratulations. And Lisa was darn near tears. I mean, she just has so much respect for Kirk and the job he did. And Kirk actually shared after in the press conference that the night before Lisa's announcement was made that she was going to retire, she called Kirk. Didn't call any other coaches probably. She called Kirk.
It's
and
crazy.
Let him know that he shared a funny line though. He said like the next day they had a thing in Des Moines and Lisa was there, and he joked with her that she looked 20 years younger now that she was out of coaching for a day. You know? Total funny thing. But then Mary and his two daughters were in the tunnel with several of the grandkids, and Mary gave him a game ball, and I thought that was pretty cool. And as he said, if you know Mary Ferentz, there was zero chance that Mary Ferentz was going to be out on the field doing that. The tunnel was about all you were going to get from Mary, and that was probably pretty amazing that she even did that, because she just does not like to be in that spotlight. She's and Kirk said the one thing he wished was that his three boys could be there tonight to share the moment with him.
Yeah, no, a special moment. And Tom, obviously Iowa wins. They beat UMass 47-7. We'll talk about the game itself coming up in a little bit, and some offense for the Hawkeyes, 47 points, and some predictions that were pretty spot on for you. So we'll let you take a victory lap in a second. But Tom, we knew this was going to happen. Like going into this game, we knew Kirk Ferentz was going to set the record. And what I walked away from Kinnick Stadium, down there on the field, through the tunnel, and then I got my little butt out of there and got back home to set this up. I just walked away going, I knew it was coming, but it was better than I could have expected, if that makes any sense. Like the emotion, the players all gathering behind him as he did the interview at midfield. You saw, I mean, I talked to Joe Conklin today and Pat Anger today. Torrin Young was on the Hawkeye Tailgate show. So many different players. Broderick Binns I talked to earlier, and just listening to those guys talk about that guy. And you mentioned it at the top. Those guys that are behind him that are all excited, they weren't even thought of at when he became the head coach at the University of Iowa. When it comes to knowing it was happening and the moment still matching, I thought it was outstanding. Your thoughts on the vibe, I guess, at Kinnick Stadium?
Yeah, and you should mention too, the game was called by Anthony Herron.
Yeah.
Anthony was a defensive end on Kirk's first team as a head coach, and was with them for the first 2 years as a Hawkeye head coach. And he's down there interviewing his old head coach on the field. And meanwhile, he's got his current players behind him. I mean, it just speaks to the connection that this program has, and just how unique it is that Anthony was there tonight for this game and calling it for the Big Ten Network. And I know it meant, I talked to Anthony earlier today, and I know that this meant a lot to him to be able to be here at Kinnick for this really special moment in Iowa football history, Big Ten football history. Just hats off to Kirk. I mean, we've been around him for so long, and he's a class act, just a really good football coach, but an even better guy. And is he perfect as a head coach? No. Does he run a conservative offense? Yes. All those things are true, but it's also true that he is he's really Iowa fans should, I say this sometimes when they get frustrated. I'm like, just be careful what you wish for. When this guy's gone, it's going to leave a huge void at the University of Iowa on a lot of levels. And so just kind of enjoy this. I hope everybody will allow him, instead of complaining about, oh, the offense didn't do this or that or whatever, just let him enjoy one night of happiness. He joked, he said I'd probably go home in an hour and fall asleep or something. So I'm just happy for Kirk. Just a good guy.
Yeah. What I'll tell people about him that I always do is, and you just mentioned, if you want to be, if you want to get frustrated at certain things, that's with every coach, Tom. That's with every coach. One thing you can't say now is that he's not the winningest coach in Big Ten history. And we've talked numerous times about, he won 2 of his first 20 games, Tom. He won 2 of his first 20 games at the University of Iowa, and he's now the Big Ten's winningest coach ever. And that's nothing anyone can take away. When you have these arguments of Kirk this and Kirk that and this offense and whatever you want to argue about, you can't take away the fact now that he's past Woody Hayes and he's the winningest coach in Big Ten history. And everybody that was there today, everybody was on the field, they were taking part of history. And you mentioned that interview. I thought it was great because you never know what Kirk doesn't want. I mean, he really doesn't. I know people roll their eyes and stuff, and people always will say, I'm modest. I don't want to. He's as modest as they come. Like he doesn't want these kind of things. So for him to take probably 8 minutes afterwards in a circle in the middle of the field being played at Kinnick Stadium, I thought was perfect. And you mentioned, like, he talked about he started a family in Iowa City in 1983. Like the things that have gone on. He mentioned coaching his kids and how he was glad that, he didn't have to directly coach them. I thought it was funny because then one coached with them, but that those kind of things, like, I think people just look at wins, and I don't think it has much to do with wins as it does with moments, relationships, a life in Iowa City. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think one of the things that he's always bragged about, all of his 5 kids graduated from Iowa City High School.
Yeah.
City High. Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's amazing. And he thought that was pretty cool that happened. And he has had opportunities to leave. And he mentioned something like Mary said, coaches should move every 8 to 10 years. Well, here we are 27 years later, and he ain't going anywhere. And the next time he leaves is when he's going to retire.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really nice that Beth Getz was there tonight and congratulated Kirk on the achievement. And yeah, he's one of the most beloved guys in college athletics and in obviously the Iowa City area in eastern Iowa and really the state of Iowa. I mean, he's one of the really good people. And I get that people get frustrated. I get that people want him gone because they're tired of the offense.
We don't have to qualify that tonight. Anybody who's mad about the offense and that stuff, quit watching this. Don't go away. We're going to talk about Kirk, and we're not going to have to qualify everything with that nonsense. It's whatever it is. But like tonight, for one night, leave it, all those kind of things. Tom, it took him a little longer to get, and I'll say this too, like, and Pat brought it up on the Hawkeye Tailgate show, like other programs want to be Iowa. And I know people say that, oh, they do not. They want to be Alabama in this. Yeah, I'm sure they do. I promise you, and our good friend Kirk Ferentz wanted to be Iowa. Wanted for a decade. Wanted more, maybe. Wanted to be Iowa. Now feels like they're closer to or are Iowa because the way Illinois is playing. Like that's true to a point. Okay. Usually the rundown is they go back to the locker room. What is it? Probably 10, 15 minutes. Then KF shows up. 10 or 15 minutes. Kind of talk about like the weight, which I think you guys get and understand. And then
I knew it was going to be a long time today.
Yeah,
I knew it was going to be a long.
And then what was the?
He did change shirts. He blamed his security guy, his sheriff's deputy, for not protecting him enough from that Gatorade. I should say Powerade bat. Powerade bat. We have to say it correctly. And it was Wampa, T.J. Hall, and Cohen Entringer that got him.
Really? So he switches shirts. We saw emotional Kirk down on the field and all that kind of stuff. What was the post game like? What'd you get out of him? What was the thoughts? Kind of take me through that.
Not that emotional, really. He was very composed and just, I asked him about Mary being down there, and that's when he joked about, you'll never get her out there in the field. And I said, of course, barely could get her in the tunnel to greet him, but I know that meant a lot to him. And the most emotional person I saw was Lisa Bluter, and that's just I thought that was so interesting. But knowing both of them
makes
not
sense.
Surprising.
Makes sense when you think about
it.
They
have so much mutual respect between those two, and I've known that for a long time. But it just resonated with me that she was like pacing down there in that tunnel, waiting because she wanted to just tell him congratulations and that you did it. And he was there when Lisa was setting records at those games and congratulating her because that's how Kirk Ferentz is. That's it's the kind of person he is. And he just talked about the longevity of the people that are around the program. He mentioned specifically his secretary, Rita Foley, who's worked for the last 3 head coaches at the University of Iowa. Not 2, 3. And this tells you how long Rita has been around. And she continues to still make the football office run. So it means a lot to him to do all this and to do it at Iowa. And more than likely, this is a record that's just not going to get broken. I don't think. Well, guys just don't stay in a place that long.
Andy's going to add to it.
Yeah.
Like he's going to end up adding to it. And so if he's here for 2 or 3 more years and he averages what he averages, 9 wins a season or whatever, 8 wins a season, Rip Late. I mean, he's gonna put this thing into a different stratosphere as well. You mentioned he said he might go home and fall asleep. Like Kirk is Kirk. Like, I think for his birthday when he turned 70, he joked when we did our special from Media Day that he had some ice cream. I'm sure you guys asked him about it. He mentioned falling asleep, any tidbits into that. And knowing Kirk, he's probably already thinking about a quick week and a quick turnaround against Rutgers on Friday.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, that they have a quick turnaround this week. So it's they'll be in the air on Thursday, heading to New Jersey, and then Friday night they're going to play a football game. So it's a busy turnaround for them, and it'll be a challenging one for them as well. So see how they navigate this weekend. And the one thing he talked about is this is the start of Big Ten play, and that's different. It's big. It's Big Ten. No kind of play on words intended. It's a big time for them. So he's super excited about starting Big Ten play because he knows that means a lot more moving forward.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about this game itself, Tom. We talked Thursday. You saved my life basically because I was not feeling well with pneumonia, and you kind of carried a couple segments. But we talked a lot about this upcoming game, and we both talked earlier in the day that we both felt that Iowa was going to throw the football, and they did. Yep. I think they came out, and first drive was 3 plays, and it was a pass play that ended up being a scramble for 3 yards, 45-yard pass, 20-yard pass, and we look like geniuses. But there was a definite emphasis on throwing the football, and I don't think it was just to prove to anybody. Like, I don't think it was, like, haha, we can do it, now shut up. It was simply they're trying to catch up when it comes to rhythm and continuity and chemistry and all of those kind of things, trying to get right. Coach kind of mentioned with Anthony Herron that it was a work in progress still. They take a nice step tonight. There's a lot more work to be done. Your thoughts on just the mindset of Iowa coming out and throwing the football?
I jokingly said in our live from the press box thread to open the night that it was Kirk Ferentz was launching, and I got a lot of scoffs and chuckles and mocks for throwing that out there. But after the first drive, everybody was like, "Hey, you're right. They are throwing it down the field." I thought it was interesting because there's been a lot of criticism about Mark Gronowski. I don't know if you've noticed that.
No.
Matt, there's been a little bit of criticism towards him and his throwing the football. And sometimes it's the criticism is centered around his inability to get to the second, third reads on plays and things of that nature. Well, on that pass to Phillips, the first long pass, he admitted that it was he was not the primary receiver. It was supposed to go to Seth Anderson. They were playing quarters coverage, and they knew they could get vertical on quarters. And he looked over and he saw, his quote was, Phillips was butt naked, is what he called it.
Oh, wow.
He said he was butt naked, which maybe he was wide open.
Yes.
Apparently, that means butt naked. And hit him for a 45-yard gain, and then the next play hits Anderson on a little slant and touchdown Iowa, like, what, a minute 30 into the game, something like that. So they got going. They got the offense moving in the air. Really, the only, I think, negative thing that happened was Reese Dakin got blocked on his punt, and they scored off of that drive. Otherwise, it should have been, and it could have. I mean, Iowa bailed out on a drive late and didn't score. And Drew Stevens had a tough game with, missed field goal and a missed PAT. And they could have easily scored maybe 60 points today, if they wanted to really get after it. And they just decided, kind of just ran out the clock, and we're happy to get this one over with. And now they're banged up a little bit. After the game, Kirk said that Kamari Moulton, chance maybe he's coming back for Rutgers. We'll see. He's moving in that direction. I saw Reese Vanders. He did not have a boot on, so I don't know what his availability is going to be, but he may be a week away still from getting back. Xavier Williams was wearing a sling sideline, so that's probably not great. But so I think Kirk called him banged up, I think was the term he used. So maybe they're going to get back Kamari and lose Xavier for a game. I don't know. It's something to keep an eye on. But Jazz Patterson ran well, I thought. He ended up, 54 yards?
Yeah.
Nathan McNeil had a good finish. Nathan McNeil had 10 rushes for 56 yards. So he did well late. And I thought, Gronowski scored on the ground. He was 16 of 24 for 179, 2 TDs. I thought that was a pretty good day.
Was that like
75 yards?
2.5 quarters of work, Tom? Or was it the fourth quarter when he came out? Do you remember? I thought it was late third.
I think it might have been late third, but it was close. I mean, he
Tommy
did well.
Hank
hey, we should Hank Tank
5 of 7.
5 of 7.
And I think what you're going to talk about is the
TD.
drops, because Hank Tank, there was a drop with him late in the game with KJ Parker, could have been a touchdown probably. And I don't know if you have stats in front of you when it comes to drops, but what did we count, like 4 or 5 during the game?
There was 3 I know for sure when Mark was out there, and it might have been 4.
Okay.
So they had some drops. And we should mention the bounce back performance from Caden Weegan, because we talked to him Tuesday, and he owned everything. I mean, he told me that he had the wrong cleats on. He had turf cleats on and playing on a grass field and lost his feet, and most guys would have not admitted that. So it's just it speaks to him owning his mistakes. Well, boy, did he have a day, huh? How about that? How about 182 yards in punt returns, 34 in kickoff returns, and a 20-yard touchdown run off, a jet sweep. So, a couple TDs. He almost busted like 3 punts for touchdowns, and he finally got one 95 yards.
That was pretty too.
Which the Kinnick Stadium record, and tied Iowa's all-time record, which was 95 yards with Billy Happel.
Yeah.
So, great bounce back for Weege. I would imagine he's going to be special teams player of the week in the Big Ten. I don't know that anybody else is going to top what he did. Just my guess. We'll see. But great performance from him. And maybe the only negative was it was not a great performance for Drew Stevens, although the 54-yarder was probably good from 65. But he missed a PAT, and he missed another field. And he missed a 37-yard field or 38-yard field goal.
That one looked like it was, I don't know. And people that are at home,
I know Dolph said the same thing. He's
Okay.
like, it seemed like it was good.
They showed a replay as we were sitting there, and I didn't get a chance to notice it, but it looks like it was a made field goal. It was weird. Like you mentioned, that's 50, 51 points, whatever it is. I mean, just a lot of offense, a lot of good things. Weegan was one of those guys too, Tommy, where you mentioned it. It just felt it, and then he finally took care of business. KJ Parker getting his first touchdown. I thought that's a noticeable thing as well. And you kind of, like you mentioned Nathan McNeil, but that's twice now, Tom, that young man's come out and kind of, I know it was in later work, but kind of pugged this team and gave them a little bit of a boost a little bit as well. Defensively,
He's got something.
The only reason
Defensively. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. The only reason that UMass scores was the block kick, and then an amazing individual effort by UMass's quarterback on that scramble that he could have been sacked 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, ends up scoring a touchdown on it.
Somehow he got loose.
It seemed like they got to the quarterback more often with pressure, front four. Max Llewellyn was really good. Ethan Hurkett, I think, got pressures there. I didn't look to see official sacks. Has this defense caused a turnover all year.
Nope.
That's the weird thing.
Still
They're really, really, really
weird.
good, but I feel like they're due. Can I call it now that they have 2 takeaways at least against the
Sure.
Scarlet Knights?
Yeah, they have 5 sacks today,
Okay.
and 2 quarterback hurries credited on the stat sheet. So, yeah, included they had 11 total tackles for loss, but no forced fumbles, no interceptions. They did break up 3 passes. So it's a little bit of everything, but they, the key stat was after the first quarter, UMass had negative 10 yards of the offense. They finished the day with, let me look here. It was not much though. Total offense, 119 yards of total offense. So not much. They
That's
did
amazing.
not. They averaged 2.4 yards per play. So not great. Iowa ended up with 435 total offense. So 71 plays. So Iowa did really well, and UMass was who we thought they were. Iowa had 22 first downs, and UMass had 8 in the entire game.
Yeah, a dominating performance by the Iowa Hawkeyes, a historic night. I know Tommy needs to get rolling a little bit. One more thing before I
Sure.
let you go, and then you
Yeah.
can make sure. I want to make sure we check all the boxes on your end as well.
Yeah.
You're on the message board and that during the game and posting updates on Twitter. Everything's better when Iowa wins. When it comes to fan bases, just winning in general, winning causes, it cures everything.
Yeah.
What are we gonna take away out of this come Sunday and Monday and Tuesday? Or is this a step forward or is it UMass? I personally feel this is a step forward. I think that this offense just simply was behind early in the season, with Mark missing some of spring or spring in general, and kind of getting a later start. I think it's moving in the right direction. I thought it was moving in the right direction against Iowa State. I did. Like I thought they were.
Yeah.
And a bad
I think
bounce
so
and a
too.
bad last drive. This is kind of what they needed. Your thoughts when it comes to, is this I mean, like Kirk said, just a step in the right direction. I think it's a big step in the right direction. How optimistic will Iowa fans be as well? I know there'll be those people that's just going to say it was UMass. I had a boy of mine.
There's some of that.
I had a son of mine that said, "Dad, and you must be me really bad." And I'm like, but, and yes, that's true. Yes. Your thoughts on what this week will entail, considering this last week was doom and gloom. I mean, it's been 6 days of woe was me when it comes to a vocal part of Iowa Nation. So your thoughts?
Yeah, they took a positive step today for sure. I mean, anybody who says that they didn't is just lying to themselves. Was UMass a subpar opponent? Absolutely. They're not good.
They
They
did
might
what
not
they
win a
were
game this
supposed to
year.
do to those opponents.
Yeah,
And it's been a minute.
They did what they were supposed to do to Albany to them, which is great. I mean, it's a very positive thing. But here's what I'll say. I think that the next 2 games are really important. Really, really important, because it's going to set up if the last half of the season is going to matter. And these are 2 challenging toss-up kind of games. I think the Rutgers game is going to be basically a pick-'em, probably, on Friday night in Piscataway. And then Indiana comes to Iowa City, and we just saw them. I know it was Indiana State, but they hung 73 points on them. Signetti is not somebody who, if he sees the opportunity, he will go for the jugular. So, it's just he's gonna take you out. So, we gotta, I want to emphasize that to the fans that these are just giant games for for Iowa coming up, because if they can win both of them, then they go into the bye week and you're what?
4-1.
4-1. 4-1. You're feeling good, and you got Penn State coming after that, and Minnesota and other schools coming. So you're feeling a lot better about things if you're 4-1. If you drop both those and you're sitting at 2 and 3,
Oh boy.
And they're not gimmies. I mean, Indiana's, we'll find out a little bit more about Indiana this week too. They host Illinois, but Iowa, Rutgers this week. Rutgers has been in this spot before, and Iowa went in there and pantsed them. Everybody was fired up at Rutgers, and they were sold out. And
I remember it.
everybody's dancing around, and then they just basically shut them out. This is a pretty good Rutgers team, though. Kelly McManus is playing really well. He threw for over 300 yards.
This is 15th year.
But that was Norfolk State too. I will say that.
Yeah.
So it's just like the 15th year.
Here's
I think Ethan Kelly McManus started against a Hayden Fry coach team.
Here's what I think. I think Iowa's due to have some turnovers. I'm very bullish about Rutgers. I think Rutgers on a Friday night, I do remember that game that you speak of very well. I remember being annoyed because I was covering high school football, couldn't watch it, watched enough of it, and then watched it all when I got home. And I feel that. I really do. I feel like the defense makes some big plays. They're heading in the right direction. And also, Tom, I love the fact that Illinois and Indiana play in this huge primetime game next week. I love it. And if you're an Iowa fan, I want Indiana to win. I want Indiana to be coming off a huge victory against a top 10 team at home on Saturday night in front of the entire nation. And I want them to come and have their letdown at Kinnick Stadium the following Saturday. And I want Iowa to get that signature victory going into a bye week to really get things moving around. I like that scenario. I think that's a good scenario. My last little note is that we both talked to, but I talked to Addison Ostrenga up in the press box today. Yeah. And I think we mentioned it earlier this week. You mentioned it on Thursday when you're on the show, but he will be back next year. Already had the surgery done. I'm a big Addison Ostrenga fan. I've said that before. We're going to get him back often with the guy Randazzo. But like you feel for him. I felt bad because I was like, hey man, you could golf and he's probably sitting here looking at me like, you jerk, like I just ripped my Achilles. But I think I said the silver lining is you're gonna be better than ever and all that kind of stuff. So great to see him and excited for him to come back next year, and hopefully he gets healthy soon.
Hey, one other basketball note. Iowa picked up a huge basketball commitment before this, about a half hour before tip-off today, that we were able to share. Ethan Harris, 6'8" forward from Camas, Washington. Rivals, our parent company. I work for On3, but we also own Rivals, and Rivals is our recruiting brand. So when I reference Rival stuff, I'm not referencing my old workplace. It's also my current workplace too.
I'm confused, Tom. It's like you're in
I know.
It's like a soap opera. It's like no,
basically On3 owns the world now, and a big announcement coming on Monday. Ooh. If you're a college basketball fan, a big announcement, not for Hawkeye Report, but for On3.
You tease.
Monday.
You tease, Kakert.
Monday.
It's here we are. It's 12:37 on a Saturday night, Sunday morning, and you're teasing people. Look at you.
I know.
Half the people are watching this are drunk off their ass, probably. And
if anybody's watching at this hour, it's crazy.
Hey,
it's 12:30 at night.
If I told you that there's almost 700 people watching this thing right now, you'd think you're crazy. So Hawkeye fans are pretty excited. But go ahead. That's a big commit. I get up into the press box after slaving away, working my rear end off out in the 90-some degree weather. And that's first thing John I said, was Kakert. And Bonenkamp's like, oh, there's some breaking basketball news, and I guess it's pretty big. It is big. Go ahead.
Yeah, 4-star Ethan Harris. He's we have him ranked, just our individual ranking for Rivals is number 65 in the country, number 11 power forward. And they've landed him. And that's a big get. Gonzaga, Washington, Boise State. Yeah, a kid from Washington, too. So big deal that they got him. I was told tonight that Ben McCollum's first trip when they could go out this fall was to visit Ethan. He was the number one recruit that they wanted.
Wow.
Ahead of any of the point guards. He's the number one guy that they wanted to land in this class. So that they felt like they had a good shot at. So they got him. I think our industry rankings, which is the other part of our rankings that we do, he's a top 100 kid. So really, really good get. I'm pretty excited to see what he and Trey Thompson can do. Trey's doing really well. I think a lot of the guys are. Bulgaris is doing better. He's really coming along in the last week. He was kind of up and down, but he's doing well. And they've got the Hartman kid on campus this weekend. We'll see how that goes. But the other guy that they want is Quentin Coleman, the 6'3" guard from the St. Louis area, and he'll be coming in for the Indiana game later this month. And they think it's Iowa Wake and Texas Tech, maybe. He might go to Texas A&M next weekend, but we'll see if that happens. But they don't think he's going to end up there. I don't think anybody thinks he's going to end up there. So they really like Coleman, who really blew up in the month of July. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, pretty exciting news. Ben McCollum's first commit for the class of 2026.
Man, it's a good weekend. The Hawkeyes needed a weekend like this. Tom, before I let you go, did you see what Brett McMurphy tweeted?
Somebody told me about this.
Can I read it?
Yes, absolutely, because I can't quote it. So I one of the Brad Schultz from the Daily Iowan quoted it when we were in the press conference. I laughed. I thought it was funny.
All right. It says, congrats to Iowa's Kirk Ferentz for surpassing Woody Hayes as the Big Ten's winningest coach with 206 victories. Ferentz is also the only 70 or older current FBS head coach without a 24-year-old girlfriend. That's outstanding. Outstanding.
Oh my God.
So, well, Tom, we'll have you bug us again sometime real soon on the on Off the Air. Thank you for doing Off the Air, and then of course, Hawkeye Report podcast listeners, tell them goodbye and when you're doing what and all that. You'll have Chuck on Monday, right?
Well, hopefully, maybe tomorrow night we'll see. Chuck's got a busy week, so he's got some things going on.
Will we see him this week? No, it's not till next week.
No, it's next week. We're having dinner with him.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, but we'll
that sounded like obnoxious and like a name drop, didn't it? I didn't mean it like that. I just literally thought we had dinner. We're going to dinner with him, but it is that next Tuesday. That sounded arrogant. I apologize for that. Go ahead.
It's okay. We're just humble brags.
Jeez.
Right?
No, it sounded dumb. But anyways, yeah. So you have plenty coming up.
Yeah.
And where are you right now? I know you're in the press box. Are you like
I'm in the press box?
Are you in like Corey's office or something, or the radio suite?
It's at the one of the radio suites.
I keep thinking that like Corey Sheets is gonna pop out behind you and scare me.
No, hopefully not.
Pretty cool if it happens.
Hopefully he'll be happy. He'll be happy to listen though. Corey will listen.
Is Pat gone?
Yeah, they're gone.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you go too. If you're listening to the Hawkeye Report podcast form of this,
yeah, we'll do one probably Wednesday for sure, because I'm leaving Thursday for Rutgers.
Love it. So if you're on that end of things and you're listening audio wise, thank you so much for listening. Yep. If you're watching us on the Hawkeye Report podcast, on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, we're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, and then we'll come back myself, and I'll talk a little bit about the rest of college football and kind of wrap things up here on a late Saturday night, early Sunday. You're watching a special edition of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. We'll be right back. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak, with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Yeah, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with.
Give me the keys. Learning to drive can be stressful for both the student and, yes, the parent as well. Relax. There's an easy way to avoid the stress. Skiles Driving School in East Moline has been helping new drivers hit the road with confidence for over 20 years. Whether you're a teen earning your first license or an adult looking for behind-the-wheel training, we've got you covered. Their certified instructors are patient, experienced, and use modern vehicles equipped for safety and comfort. From classroom instruction to real-world driving, we make learning safe, affordable, and even fun. Call 309-278-0098 or visit skylesdriving.com. Skiles Driving School. Get in, buckle up, drive your future forward.
Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? You need Mobile Party Experience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile Party Experience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your Mobile Party Experience today. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, a special, what would you call this, a college football post-game edition of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Thanks to Tom Kakert for joining me from the press box in Iowa City. A historic night for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and of course Kirk Ferentz. Victory number 206, passing Woody Hayes for the most victories ever as a Big Ten head coach. So congratulations to Kirk Ferentz. If you missed any of that, go back, check it out. Take a listen as well. Also, Iowa's offense coming to life. 47 points. Could have been a lot more. Missed a field goal, missed an extra point. Those kind of things. But defense good. Only gave up a block punt, which was weird. So special teams was really good. 95-yard Weegan touchdown. A lot of good stuff. But then some things you probably got to clean up as we get ready for Big Ten play. I want to talk about some of the other college football that happened here on a Saturday around our area before I go to bed because it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So it's been a long day. But I want to start with the Fighting Illini at home against Western Michigan this evening. And kind of what you would almost expect. I know people are like, you were at the Iowa game, you weren't watching, but I did have my phone up and watching some of the Illinois game as the game went on. And it is that trap game. It just was. They went on the road, got a big victory against Duke, and then next week everybody's talking about that road game at Indiana, night game, and all that kind of stuff. So here's this weird game with Western Michigan, and it was 10-0 at half. And I know that they had a big goal line stand that prevented them from being even closer game at half. But hats off to Brett Bielema and company. They get things right at halftime. They go on win 38-0. The final score in that one. Not a huge night from Luke Altmaier. I saw 2 touchdowns. I want to say almost 200 yards. I'm almost there. Help me. 196, 2 touchdowns. Fagan had 100 yards rushing and a touchdown, 3 rushing touchdowns. Valentine and Luke Altmaier also had a touchdown on the ground as well. Cole Rusk did have a reception just for a yard. Leading tackler on the team, 6 tackles, 6 solos. Matthew Bailey. So Moline's Matthew Bailey playing well as well. So Western Michigan's not very good. Illinois goes on, does what they're supposed to do. They almost won by 40. And now that sets up that matchup next week. Of course, Indiana just put 73 up last night against Indiana. I guess that's Friday night because it's technically Sunday morning. Whatever. Anyways, so a huge game next week. We'll talk a lot about it throughout the week on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Kind of get you set for that game as well because the Illini, ranked 9th in the country, probably will move up a little bit because of some of the losses maybe in the top 10. I think there were a few. I don't know if Notre Dame was ahead of them. I believe they were. So maybe they're ranked ahead of Notre Dame. We'll get to the Irish. They weren't. Notre Dame wasn't, but we'll get to that here in a second and kind of talk about that game as well. I do want to talk a little about Iowa State. I'm doing the Hawkeye Tailgate Show. Thank you to Torrin Young, Pat Angerer, Jack Alito, John Bonenkamp, everybody who Xavier Wampa was on the show. So everybody who's part of the Hawkeye Tailgate Show, thank you for letting us lead off radio coverage of the Iowa Hawkeyes as we did again today at the Krause Family Plaza. But as I'm doing that, people tell me, hey, Iowa State's struggling. Iowa State's losing. Those kind of things. If you're an Iowa fan, if you're an Iowa State fan, you're rooting for Iowa State, obviously. If you're an Iowa fan, you should probably root for Iowa State. I know it's weird to do, but you want them to do well because they just beat you. It'll make you look better. So they go on the road. I still think it's freaking crazy that they had to go to. I know that Jimmy Pollard said the other day, saved $4 million, whatever. I know they're struggling with money, but to go on the road and play this game is weird to me. I know in 2 years they play Bowling Green, I think, on the road, which is nuts as well. So, but they struggle a little bit. They pull away. They win 24-16. So no harm done. They go to a bye week now as well, 4-0 in the season, 1-0 in conference play. I will say this: Kansas State victory doesn't look that great anymore. It just doesn't. They're 1-3 on the season, I think. They lost to Arizona. They lost to Iowa State, and there was somebody else in between there. And then they beat Iowa by 3, and then this wasn't overly impressive today. I do think it was, a little letdown having to go on the road, Cy-Hawk game last week, all that kind of stuff. But not the best performance from the 14th ranked Cyclones, but they survive. They get the job done. They win that game as well. Rocco Becht, 265 yards through the air, a touchdown. Carson Hansen led the team in rushing, 18 carries and 116 yards. So Iowa State gets the victory. They're 4-0. Jake Brend will join us on Wednesday's OTA and talk about the Iowa State Cyclones as they get into a bye week as well. I did see Notre Dame lost. I just kind of catching up with that, 41-40. Just kind of shocking to me that, ranked 8th, though. Illinois should move up. Just shocking to me that they gave up 41 points. Crazy late touchdown to win that game. So Notre Dame now 0-2 on the season, which is just wild to me. So I don't know if they have enough, even if they run the table and get to 10-2, I don't know if they have enough quality victories left to get into a playoff. They may. We'll talk about that. Big game, Georgia beat Tennessee in overtime, 44-41. In Nest guess, I picked Tennessee because of Camille Gear. So Camille now owes me because I'm probably going to lose the Nest again. Miami beat South Florida 49-12. They were impressive. LSU beat Florida, another big game, 20-10, the final on that one. Ohio State did not impress, 37-9, the final in that one. Texas didn't impress either. They were at home and they lost, or excuse me, they won, but against UTEP to win 27-10 is not overly impressive, to say the least. Arch Manning didn't look good once again. 11 of 25, 114 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So not a great day for him as well. I'm not going to go through all the top 25 or anything like that. I'm kind of just scanning to see if, Georgia will stay ahead. So maybe Illinois moves up to 8. They should move up to 8 at least, unless one of those teams, number 11, South Carolina, got pantsed at home by Vandy. Wow. Vandy now 3-0. So Clemson lost, number 12 lost. So 8 lost, 11 lost, 12 lost. Man, I love college football. 14 almost lost. Wisconsin got killed by Alabama. I don't know if they don't have a new coach next year. I'm pretty sure they do. Michigan rolled over Matt Drinkle and Central Michigan. We still love drink. So anyways, it was a great day of college football. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Enjoy your NFL Sunday. God, I hope I'm here on Monday talking about a Lions victory and not having to deal with Bears fans. But I don't know right now. I'm pretty confident, but man, we'll see. So great Sunday of NFL football. Enjoy the heck out of it. I'm going to take a day and not do anything when it comes to like this stuff or have pneumonia and do shows and all that kind of stuff. Radio's done today. Post-pod's done today. We'll stock things up and load things up on Monday. Man, we have a lot to get to. There were some great high school quarterback and wide receiver performances this week. And we're going to talk about it on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo Monday and throughout the week as well. We'll get you caught up on our next guest stuff. So much to get to. Iowa, we'll talk more about Kirk Ferentz, Illinois, all that kind of stuff. A loaded show coming your way on Monday. We're super excited about that. And we got an announcement coming up with the Off the Air with Matt Randazzo coming up in the next week or so. That's kind of fun as well. So a lot to get to. We want to thank you guys for joining this. I got to go practice. I'm lector at church tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So I got to go practice my readings. So I guess I do have some form of public speaking to do tomorrow. But then after that, I'm crashing and watching football, unless my wife has other ideas. But she knows I'll get to watch the Lions at least. So anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching a special post-game edition of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. If you're watching this right now, you're crazy. I probably aren't sober, which is great. God bless you. Hope you had one from me. And we'll talk again on Monday. Enjoy this throughout Sunday. Get caught up with it before you watch some football, all that kind of stuff. And again, thank you to Tom Kakert and, of course, our sponsors as well for letting us do Off There with Matt Randazzo. So have a great Sunday, I guess, because it's Sunday morning. And we'll catch up with you guys on Monday. Take care.